more for you, you feel it. You know it. This is your life, and it's time to go from contender to champion. This is The Show with John Madsen.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm John Madsen, and this is The Show. Super excited to tell you about the relaunch of my brand, which is now SupraHuman. And this episode is going to be dedicated to that, how to become superhuman and why I chose to rebrand right now and what this brand represents and what that means for you and this show. Stay tuned because it's going to be epic. Before we get into it, I want to send you over to johnmadsen.com and just make sure you get on the newsletter list. I started to email a couple weeks ago. Then I had a problem with an email server. All good. That should be eradicated. Make sure you're on the list because I am going to update you with some amazing stuff that is about to come out. Now, whether or not you've been following me on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you've come to notice that I do this show and am active on other channels, you may have seen the transition start happening from my old company, which was Athletic AF, to the brand new company, which is SupraHuman. Now, this rebrand started to happen fourth quarter of 2020. And we started to think about all the different things that we could call the company and why we would want to do that in the first place. Finally, we decided on SupraHuman and then had an epic design rebrand done. If you haven't seen any of this stuff, you will undoubtedly. If you've seen it, you already know some of it. But SupraHuman, as a definition, if you were to just Google SupraHuman, not super, Supra, the very first two words that you will see is not comparable, having powers above and beyond that of a normal human. I couldn't think of something that relates to my program, my desire for building something epic, than that exact definition. From the time I was 5 years old, going through elementary school, going through junior high school, going through college, there was this idea or this feeling inside of me that I was not put here to walk through life as a person who was just going to blend in. It's interesting because as I think about grade school, I remember when they used to post grades up on, the chalkboard or whatever. And you could see all the kids' names. And at the bottom was the kids that were not getting good grades, the Fs or whatever. And at the top there was A's. Or if you can remember when they used to post grades for a certain test or something and you would get percentages. I didn't want to get an A. I wanted to get the top A. I wanted my name to be on the top of the list. Some of you can relate to that. Some of you can't. I remember a period where there was a moment where I just kind of felt like, you know what, maybe I should just blend in because it wasn't so cool to be, the coolness of getting a top grade kind of lost its luster a little bit as you got into those weird transitionary years, maybe in high school where I'm like, I actually don't want to be the very top because if I'm the smartest, that might mean that I'm a geek or something, right? So you go through different periods and do things for different reasons. Now, my point, though, is regardless of grading myself on a smartness level, I had this idea that I didn't want to blend in, that I was not here to be average. I wanted to play sports and I wanted to be a professional athlete. You guys know the story. There's this idea that I wanted to tap into the infiniteness that we're all born with. So the definition of superhuman, having powers above and beyond those of normal humans, it's not like it's a gift. It's that those powers lie dormant inside of you. Those powers either grow or they die inside of you. And if you cultivate them, if you water them, if you feed them, if you know how to focus on them, the limitations that other people run up against are completely blown up for you. Becoming superhuman is tapping into that specialness, is tapping into that greatness. And it's me as its creator, literally showing you with all that I have how to make that possible in mind, body, and spirit. It's for the people who believe that what they can become, they must become it. The people who have that fucking fire, that fucking flame. And you know who you are if you're listening right now, and you fucking have it. And you have it. And you weren't meant to just sit around and have everybody look at you like you're this average person in an average body, in an average career, in an average city. You were meant to do something special because you have this ability and this awareness to understand that this shit is not a dress rehearsal. It is your moment. Right here, right now. I want to help people tap into that greatness. And so this company was born, and we're taking all the great stuff that we used to do to help people in their mindset, in their bodies, and we completely revamped everything from the fulfillment to the design, to the branding, to the colors, to the everything. And we're going to come out with some epic shit. And we have epic customers joining us every single day. And then we came out with a slogan. And the slogan we're going to ride with for a long time. The slogan, go get what's yours. Go get what's yours. There's this idea that I've had too. For some reason, I had this idea. And for some reason, I never was a person that had a red carpet rolled out for them. I literally had to go get it. Some people are afraid to knock on the door. Some people will knock that door down even if it's locked. Go get what's yours was created because I believe that everything that you want right now, whether you're driving, whether you're in the gym right now, you're thinking about something that you want and you can have it, but you have to go get it. You have to go get it by thinking a different way. You have to go get it by having those thoughts lead to a different behavior. You have to go get it by getting out of your comfort zone and going straight into risk. You have to get it by going from the known and walking straight into the unknown, because that's where all the magic is. It's the magic that is outside your current vision. You can't see it, maybe. It's farther than you can see. You have to believe that shit in your core. That is a superpower. And I want to teach you how to tap into that. And everything about this podcast, everything about the stuff that I share on social is going to be about that. Going and getting what's yours. When I graduated from high school, I stood at graduation and there wasn't a single scholarship offer that was in my possession. I was the oldest child in my family. I had only applied for one junior college. I had all my eggs in this basket of earning a college scholarship and then going to that school. I didn't really know how to apply for different schools and how to have a plan B and do all this stuff. I applied for one junior college just in case I didn't get scholarships, which I didn't get. Didn't play high school football in the first place. Graduated with no basketball scholarship, no baseball scholarship, the sports that I actually played, and had to go to this junior college because it was the only school that I applied for. And at that point, if I wanted to go to a different school, I would have had to apply somewhere else. I walked into the basketball coach's office and was told that if I wanted to play college basketball, I'd have to do it somewhere else. So my choices in that moment was to go back home and register for a different school and try to walk on somewhere else later, or walk into the football coach's office with a basketball highlight film and say, "Coach, my name's John Madsen. I haven't played football in 3 years. I want to play in college. Here's my basketball film. I think I'm a pretty good athlete. Can I play for you?" And that coach said, with their shoulders raised, like, who the heck is this kid? I got a conversation. They watched the basketball film and said, "Sure, We can't promise you anything, but you can try out. Some of you have heard that story. Some of you haven't. My point is that there was no red carpet. There was no fucking invitation. I had to go get that. I took that opportunity and did the same fucking thing at the University of Utah. No scholarship, no invitation to meet the coaches. I literally went up there randomly, went to the football offices and said, coaches, I play at Snow Junior College. I have 1 year left, but I want to transfer now. And they looked at me like, who are you? Who are you? I created that conversation. I created that opportunity. You see, most people walk through their lives waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for the job opportunity to just land in their laps, waiting for the perfect time to start the business, waiting to do whatever the fuck they want to do. I didn't do that. I created opportunity out of nothing. Winners create opportunity. And if there's obstacles, which undoubtedly there will be, they find a way to go through it, over the top of it, around it, because their dream is bigger than their resistance. Your dreams have to be bigger than the resistance. Your dreams have to be bigger than the obstacle. It's not up to anybody else. You have to go get it. You have to know what it is you're after. You have to do the action. You have to change your thoughts. You are 100% responsible. Go get what's yours. The slogan is epic to me. The brand is epic to me because it represents exactly what I believe in my heart. I believe that every single person that is going to listen to this show today or in the future, or whoever you share this with, has the spark of greatness inside. Because I live my life with this one fundamental belief that if you were to adopt it today, if you were to adopt this single belief, no matter what you believe or how many times you failed in the past or how many times a day you focus on your doubts instead of what you actually want, no matter what you believe, if you adopt this one belief, your whole life can change overnight. I believe at the core of me that what one human being can do, because we're all made of the same stuff, what one human being can do, you can do too. What's possible for one is possible for all. If that guy over there can do it, I can do it too. I grew up with this thought. I used to watch basketball and the NBA and baseball and football and all of it. And I used to think to myself, Karl Malone came from somewhere. John Stockton grew up somewhere. Gary Payton grew up somewhere. Sean Kemp grew up somewhere. Michael Jordan grew up somewhere. They all came from somewhere. They could do it. They made it. If they could do it, so could I. And I'm not saying I ever reached the pinnacle of greatness like those legends. I'm simply saying that when most people would dream about becoming a professional athlete, that dream would be stifled because it was unrealistic to their parents or the teachers or their coaches, which then trickled down into their own unconscious. From whatever reason, back then, I could tap into this superpower that was telling my soul that if another person could do it, they came from somewhere, they were human and I was human, that I could do it too. And at a certain part of my life, from 27 to 35, I kind of lost that. I kind of lost that. When I got cut and my confidence got shattered and I was left picking up the pieces of my life, I let that idea die until I connected to it again. And that one belief can take you farther than you could ever possibly imagine. But you have to believe it with every fiber of your body. And I want to be really straight with you guys today. It's not that I wake up every day and never have a moment of doubt in what I'm trying to do or what I'm trying to build. What I've gotten great at is silencing the fuck out of that inner bitch, that voice that tells me that I'm not good enough, that I'm not strong enough, that I'm not this enough, that I'm not good looking enough, that I'm not smart enough, that I'm not whatever enough. And every time it comes up, I go back to the belief that what's possible for one is possible for all. And if I'm not good at it now, all it's going to take is me being able to learn a new skill and to practice it, or to align myself with people who are better than me at it. What's possible for one is possible for all. When that voice comes up for me, like it will come up for you, I silence that shit. And when you start to win and you start to trust yourself, you double down on those wins and that momentum builds. What happens to other people is that little inner bitch speaks up and you start to listen to it and you get paralyzed by it. And instead of walking through it, you stop. It's going to be my journey to help people break through all the bullshit in their bodies, in their mindsets, in their businesses, in their spirit, in their soul. That's what it's about. That's why SupraHuman was born. Athletic AF wasn't big enough. SupraHuman's big enough. Go Get What's Yours is universal because there's something that you have inside of you right now that you fucking want, and you might have a little bit of doubt. But I'm telling you, in this podcast, if you're to get it, if you're ever going to get it, you're going to have to go get it. You deserve it. It's there, but you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to do all the work in your mind, in your body, and in your spirit. I can't wait to take you on this journey. Go get what's yours. SupraHuman is here.
Thank you so much for joining us for another amazing episode of The Show with John Madsen. The greatest compliment that you could give us is liking, loving, and sharing this episode with all of your friends. So please go to iTunes, leave us a 5-star rating and review, and then share it online with everyone that you know. Make sure to tag John as well. He loves to hear from listeners of the show. The links for all of his socials and iTunes are in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to engage John for anything related to his coaching, consulting, or programs, please visit johnmadsen.com for everything you'd need to know on how to engage with John offline. And lastly, thank you for your time, your attention, and your consideration. This is The Show.